In this video, I will challenge myself to make a custom Ninjago season with 8 amazing sets, 20 insane minifigures, and a crazy story. Let the challenge begin. So it was a normal day in Ninjago. All of the ninja were training when suddenly Raph came with the hammer of teleportation. He jumped and hit the ground really hard. Lightning started crushing the sky and all the ninja disappeared. Now Raph has found the hammer of teleportation in a cave, but didn't know how to use it until now. While the ninja are gone, let's make a cool background. I wanted my season to be space themed, so I got this giant cardboard and added white dots with a marker. After it dried, I attached it as a background and also put this blue one for the ground. And now, we just have to wait for the ninja to spawn. So now they are in space, which means that they can't breathe except for Zane, since he is a Nindroid. So now let's make them suits. First suit I will make is for Lloyd. I gave him these legs from a Prime Empire minifigure, along with this torso from Season 9. Then I gave him this shoulder path piece from the Imperium Guards. I gave him this mask so he can breathe with it, and these cool glasses so he can see clearly, and finally his hair with a band. I also gave him this amazing sword with a crystal. And with that, our first minifigure is done. The second minifigure is Jay. I gave him the torso and legs from the Evil Jay minifigure, along with this black shoulder path piece with 2 black swords. I also gave him this mask so he can breathe. Finally, I put him his hair and gave him this cool weapon. The next suit I will make is for Kai. I gave him these legs from a City Skydiver minifigure, along with this torso from the same set. Then I gave him this shoulder path piece from Prime Empire. I gave him this mask so he can breathe with it, and his hair with a band for style. Finally, I equipped him with this amazing sword with a crystal. And with that, our third minifigure is done. The next suit I will make is for Cole. I gave him these legs and torso from Season 8, along with this shoulder path piece from a Dragon's Rising Imperium Guard. I gave him this mask so he can breathe with it, and his classic hair for that Cole look. Finally, I gave him this large crystal weapon. And with that, our fourth minifigure is done. The next suit I will make is for Nia. I gave her these legs and torso from Season 9, along with this black shoulder path piece. I gave her this mask from Season 11 so she can breathe with it. Finally, I gave her a dark blade. And with that, our fifth minifigure is done. The next suit I will make is for Zane. I gave him these legs from a Jay minifigure from Season 9, along with this torso from the Dragon's Rising Season 3 sets. Then I gave him this shoulder path piece from an Imperium Guard. His mask is just to make him look cooler. Finally, I gave him the spear. And with that, our sixth minifigure is done. The next suit I will make is for Aaron. I gave him these legs from Cole from Dragon's Rising Season 2, along with this torso from Aaron from Dragon's Rising Season 1. Then I gave him this shoulder path and mask from Cole from Dragon's Rising Season 2 so he can breathe with it. Finally, I gave him an orange crystal blade. And with that, our seventh minifigure is done. The next suit I will make is for Sora. I gave her basic torso from Dragon's Rising Season 1, along with matching legs. I gave her this mask so she can breathe with it, and her colorful hair for extra flair. Finally, I gave her this cool weapon. And with that, our eighth minifigure is done. The last suit I will make is for Wildfire. I used her normal minifigure from Dragon's Rising Season 2. I gave her this mask so she can breathe with it, and a bow as her weapon. And with that, our last minifigure is done. The first villain I will make is Raph. I gave him these dark legs with printed belts, along with this orange and black torso for that scavenger look. Then I gave him this black cape. His head has a creepy red eye, and I gave him white claws to tear through his enemies. And with that, our first villain is done. The next villain I will make is the Red Hat Shadow Blade. I gave him these black and red legs, along with a matching armored torso. Then I gave him these black wings, so he can glide in the dark, and a wide red hat to hide his face. He carries a giant black hammer as his weapon. And with that, our second villain is done. The next villain I will make is the Crimson Oni. I gave him these red legs with black printing, along with a red and black torso from the Oni army. Then I gave him a red wide hat so he can keep the shadows over his face, and a red katana for combat. And with that, our third villain is done. The next villain I will make is the Horned Crusher. I gave him these black and dark blue legs, along with a matching armored torso. Then I gave him this large red shoulder armor with horns so he can smash through his enemies. Finally, I gave him this huge spiked club to crush anything in his way. And with that, our fourth villain is done. The next villain I will make is the Steel Claw Knight. I gave him these dark legs with blue printing, along with this armored torso. Then I gave him silver shoulder pads and a nice helmet to protect his head. His weapon is a sharp silver claw for close combat. And with that, our fifth villain is done. The last villains I will make are the Skull Blade Soldiers. I gave each of them these dark legs with chainmail printing, along with matching torsos. They each have black helmets with top knots and bright green faces to strike fear in their enemies. I armed all of them with white curved swords so they can fight together as a deadly squad. And with that, our villains are done. But that are not all minifigures. I also made these three side characters, which are Pixel and these two stone gods. This is my custom Ninjago Space Pixel minifigure, and she's made from a mix of different Lego parts. For the legs and torso, I used the pieces from the Space Racer in CMF Series 27. They give her a really futuristic and space-themed design, almost like a high-tech battlesuit. The head comes from the Samurai minifigure from the Sons of Garmadon sets, which adds that tough and armored look that really fits Pixel's character. On top of that, I gave her a golden helmet with big horns, which makes her stand out even more, and a large golden staff with pink crystal pieces on each end. Altogether, the mix of parts makes her look like a perfect blend of a samurai and a space warrior, which I think fits Pixel's style really well. And here are my two custom cave guardians, made mostly with parts from the Nexo Knight series. The first one is the leader, with a dark hood, bat-like wings, and a rocky base that makes him look like he's rising straight out of the cave. He carries this really cool weapon, and his job is to protect the Hammer of Teleportation. The second one is his helper, a smaller but still really creepy warrior with a crystal-like skeleton body and spiky purple armor. He carries a custom energy blade, built with a golden hilt and a pink lightning piece, which makes him look ready for battle at any moment. While the leader keeps watch over the hammer, the helper stands by his side, fighting off anyone brave enough to step into the cave. Together, they feel like the perfect pair. Now, Raph has lost his hammer, and he needs a vehicle to find it. So that is why we will make our first set. I started by building this small base, and then I attached it to the bigger one. I added these two special pieces, so I can attach the tires later. Then I continued by building the seat. I used these black bracket pieces and built the seat on top of them. I used dark brown and orange pieces. Then I continued by building the front. I placed this big orange brick, and in front of it, I added this small build to attach the front wheel later. Then I put a plate on top. At the very front, I added this bracket piece with two grill slopes. On top of it, I added a plate and two dark gray bracket pieces, and two light gray with clips and slopes on them. Then I added more bracket pieces on top. Then I popped on these two modified slopes on both sides. After that, I added a steering wheel and these orange grill slopes on both sides. At the front, I added this Technic brick and put a big headlight in it. Then I added more plates and this curved piece. In front of it, I added this modified slope with two clips under it. Then I added these big slopes on top of everything. After that, I popped on these two small shooters on both sides. I also built these two structures with slopes, tiles, and wedge plates, and attached one on each side. Then I built these two curved sticks with Technic pieces and attached them to the tire with a Technic axle and these dish pieces. Then I made the same sticks, but this time I didn't make them curved, because I want to make it taller at the back and lower at the front. I attached the wheel to the build, and Raph's bike was almost done. I just had to put these two bone swords on both sides. And finally, Raph's moon bike was done. Now you can get Raph, disattach his weapons and attach them to the bike. Now he is ready to go search his hammer, but Wildfire is on her way to stop him. But Raph is driving too fast and Wildfire has to step away. Now no one can stop Raph, that is why we will build Cole's hoverboard. I started by building the middle part with these bar pieces and these modified tiles with a stud on top. At the bottom, I added these clip pieces with 2 of these transparent sticks. Then I build the left wing with these modified wedge plates, these clip pieces, and this transparent shield. And then I build the exact same wing for the other side. Then I attached a transparent axe piece to the end on each one. Then I went back to the middle part and attached 2 of these transparent cone pieces. And at the front, I added this dish piece with a crystal on it. Then I attached everything together and the build was done. Finally, I added Cole on top and the second set was done. Now he can go and chase Raph. So Raph managed to escape from the ninja and went to tell the Crimson Oni and one of the Skullblade soldiers that he needs help to find the hammer. So the Crimson Oni went to reveal his big surprise. He jumped in the mech and now he is unstoppable. But somehow Zane managed to follow them, and now he runs back to the other ninja to warn them. But he wasn't fast enough, so he jumped on his hoverboard and flew away. When he went back, all of the ninja were gone except for Arin and Sora. He told them what is going on. Then Arin said that he has a plan. They jumped on his bike and went straight to the villain's base. When Raph saw them, he quickly told everyone to get ready to fight. The Crimson Oni jumped in his mech, and the Skull Soldiers took out their weapons. And the epic fight started. Zane and Sora were fighting with the Crimson Oni, and Aaron was trying to get to Raph. But the Skull Soldiers didn't let him do that. So Raph managed to escape. What will happen next, we will find out in a bit, but now let's take a look at the sets. To build the mech for the Crimson Oni, I started by building the torso. I used a lot of light grey and red pieces to build it. Then I build this small structure where I will attach the flag later. After I build it, I attached it to the back of the torso. Then I connected it with some slopes and these modified Technic plates where I added these clips. Then I build this front part to hold in the minifigure. Then I attached it to the front, and the torso was done. After that, I build the flag with this long stick and these printed plates with clips. Finally, I added on both sides these bone weapons. Then I build the arms with these special pieces, red slopes and these golden fingers. I also build this shoulder pad with this big gray piece. Then I just made the same thing, but for the other side. Then I quickly build the legs by using almost the same pieces as by the arms. Then I build the feet. Finally, I attached everything together and the mech was done. I also build these 2 swords that I attached at the back of the mech. Now I just have to put the Crimson Oni in and the mech was done. I also build this cool hoverboard for Zane, which I made by using white and black bricks. I also attached these 2 black swords on both sides. Finally, I added Zane, and with that our third set was done. Now the fourth set of the wave is Aaron's bike. This set actually inspired me from Lloyd's jungle bike from season 14. I started the build with a strong wheelbase to give it stability, then added golden rims for that bold ninja look. On the sides, I used translucent orange armor pieces to give it that cool space look. To give it extra strength in battle, I placed an orange katana on one side and a black katana on the other, so Aaron can grab his weapons quickly whenever he needs them. On top of the seat, I added Aaron's weapon, and finally I placed Aaron to drive. This set includes Aaron, Sora, and a Skull Soldier. So after the Crimson Oni destroyed them, the ninja went back to the other. After Lloyd heard what happened, he quickly jumped in his mech and went straight to the villains. But Raph was ready with more backup and new weapons, the Horned Crusher and this catapult which shoots fireballs. Lloyd attacked them, but the Crimson Oni jumped in front of him with his mech. While they were fighting, Raph came from behind and shooted Lloyd with the catapult. He has no chance against them, so he called Jay for help. He quickly jumped in his Stormjet and went to help Lloyd. But on his way, he bumped in the Steel Claw Knight with a fast jetpack. Jay tried to escape from him, but he was too fast. He hit one of the motors, and Jay started falling straight to Lloyd's mech. Now, Raph has defeated the ninja again. Now he continued to search for the hammer of teleportation, while the ninja went back to the other and told Kai what was going on. He said that they will catch Raph because he has the perfect plan. What is Kai's plan? We will find out after we check out the sets. First up, Lloyd's mech. I started by building the torso, the same way as the mech for Kai from the Ninja Ultra Combo Mech set from the EVO Wave. I made almost everything the same. For the collars, I replaced all the red with green and all the dark yellow with black and grey. I also added some transparent pieces. At the back, I placed these two clip pieces so I can attach Lloyd's weapons later, and this big Technic piece for the big sword. I also put these two modified plates for a small play feature that I will show later. Inside, I added this control panel piece and these two pieces. At the front, I attached these two pieces to protect Lloyd from any hits. Finally, I built this head and attached it to the torso. Then I continued by building the arms. I used this piece with ball joints on both sides. On top of it, I added two bracket pieces with the slopes and tiles. On top of everything, I added these two big panel slopes. Then I built the next part with this piece, and more bracket pieces with slopes and transparent tiles. Finally, I built the wrist with a Technic piece and attached the fingers to it. Then I connected everything together and did the same thing for the other side. I attached both arms, and now I just have to build the legs. To build them, I used ball joints and these big panels. I used snot bricks to fill the holes on both sides. Finally, I put this piece to give it a cooler look. For the feet, I just recolored the legs from Kai's mech. Finally, I attached them together and put them on the mech. I also built this big sword with Technic pieces and this big blade. Now this is the final build, and if you get Zane's hoverboard that I built in the last episode, you can attach it to the back of the mech. You can also attach his big and small sword to the back. Finally, you can put Lloyd inside and go battle Raph. This set includes Lloyd and the Horned Crusher with a catapult. Now let's take a look at Jay's jet. I started by building the base where the minifigure will sit later. I used a lot of bracket pieces and a really cool building technique. At the front, I attached some transparent yellow pieces and these modified slopes. Inside, I put a control panel, and then I added the windshield. At the back, I attached this big exhaust. At the front, I attached these two big pieces with small plates and two clips to attach the swords later. I did the same thing at the back. Then I placed these two pieces on each side, and next to them, I put these long pieces. At the back, I attached two turbos. And with that, the jet was done. Now we just have to attach the two swords and Jay's weapon. Finally, you put Jay inside and you are done. And with that, our next two sets are done. Now we can finish the story and check out the last two sets. Kai said that he has a plan. He called Pixel if she could come. While they were waiting, they prepared the vehicles for battle. In a couple minutes, she came with her space mech. After they told her what was going on, she said that she can localize the cave with the hammer of teleportation. And a couple minutes later, she found it, and it wasn't that far away. Everyone jumped in their vehicles and went straight to the cave. But after they arrived, they saw Raph trying to get to the cave, but the cave guards were too strong for him. But this time, the ninja have stronger weapons. Kai shooted his big arrow and hit one of the guards, while Pixel kicked away the other. While the ninja were fighting, Raph went to get the hammer, but Nia managed to stop him. Then Lloyd said that they need to leave the space as fast as they can, because Raph will come back to get his hammer with stronger weapons and bigger army. So Kai quickly went to get the hammer. Then everybody gathered in a circle. Kai jumped and hit the ground. Everything started shaking, and everyone disappeared. While they were gone, I quickly changed the background. Then everybody came back to the earth. They went inside the monastery, and there they found Master Wu drinking tea. They asked him what this hammer is, and he said that it's an old weapon that the first Spinjitzu master used to defeat the Oni, and it's really dangerous, so he will hide it. The ninja saved the day again, and now they can go and rest, but what happened with Raph and the others? Nothing much. They are stuck in space and run from the cave guards daily. But Raph has not given up. He said that he will find a way to get back to the Earth and destroy the ninja. Now let's take a look at the sets. The first set is this small mech for Pixel. I actually made it for the jetpack racer from the 27th CMF series, but I think it will look really cool for Pixel. To build it, I got this big mech base and put this ball joint piece with 2 slopes at the back. Then at the front, I attached this big panel with a slope in the middle. I also put this piece to attach the legs later. Then I started by building one of the legs on this piece and added this small shield and this bracket piece. The foot I built with these white bricks and this gold slope. Then I did the same thing for the other leg and attached them to the mech. After that, I quickly build the arms with these big ball joins and these big hand pieces. Then I attached them to the mech and built these 2 wings with a katana piece and some tiles. After that, I gave him this cool weapon that I built with these Technic pin connectors, and at the end, I added these cool lightning pieces. And with that, the mech for Pixel is done. There are not that many play features, but you can put the minifigure inside and attach the swords on top of the wings. The arms and legs are also movable, so you can make some really cool poses with it. But now, let's take a look at the biggest set, which is this massive car for Kai, with a small bike for Nia, and the cave with the hammer with the stone guards. First, let's look at the custom space car for Kai, built with a bold and powerful look. The whole body is mainly red, with some bright orange parts that give it a fiery style. At the front, there are 2 sharp blade pieces in transparent orange, making the car look fast and aggressive, almost like it's ready to cut through anything in its way. The grille underneath adds even more detail to the front. The cockpit is one of the nicest parts. The orange canopy lifts up to reveal the driver's seat, and inside there are small printed tiles that work as control panels and screens. You can see buttons, switches, and even a little display that fits perfectly for a space vehicle. There's just enough room for Kai to sit inside, and the mix of red, grey, and black pieces makes the cockpit feel packed with details. The car rolls on 4 huge wheels with golden rims. These tires are thick and rugged, so the car looks like it can handle rough terrain, but still drive smoothly. The gold color on the wheels stands out really nicely against all the red on the body. At the back, there are 2 big engines, one on each side. They're built with black and gray pieces and finished off with flame parts coming out of them. The flames make it look like the engines are on full power, ready to blast forward. Around the engines, there are lots of smaller pieces added to give it that mechanical, high-tech look. Along the sides, you'll notice curved armor pieces that cover the body, keeping the shape strong and smooth. The transparent orange parts scattered around the car add some nice highlights and bring out Kai's fiery theme even more. On the back of the car, there are 4 large cannons mounted on top. They're connected to a small gear system, so you can actually lift them up and adjust their angle just by turning the gear. This makes the build feel more interactive, and it also adds a nice bit of movement to the model. The cannons are finished with flame pieces at the end, making them look powerful and ready to fire. There's also another cannon built into the bottom of the car. It points forward, sitting just under the front grille. This gives the car extra firepower and makes the front look even more aggressive. Together, the top and bottom cannons balance the design, so the vehicle looks fully armed from every angle. And on both sides are 2 clips where you can attach Kai's katana, and at the bottom behind the big cannon is another clip where you can attach his big sword. Overall, this build has a strong and futuristic style. It mixes play features, like the opening cockpit and rolling wheels, with a design that also looks great on display. The colors, the details, and the size of the car all come together to make it feel like a perfect fit for Kai. Now let's take a look at Nia's bike. It's really simple. I used the same base as Kai's bike from this set, and replaced the dark yellow with gray, and on the sides I added these transparent pieces to give it that cool space look. Next to them, I added these clips with a transparent slope. Then I attached this thing that I build with a stick, a cone, and this spike. Then I build the top with a clip piece, and this bracket piece with a headlight on top of everything I added the steering wheel. And with that, Nia's bike is done. Now let's take a look at the cave with the hammer of teleportation. I started by building the base with plates, and then made a line around it with wedge plates. After that, I added 2 big columns made from these slope pieces. Then I finished the walls with normal and snot bricks. After that, I attached plates to the walls and added these round tiles to give it that space look. Then I finished the wall with 1 more layer and built the top with wedge plates. On top of them, I added more slope pieces to make it look cooler. Finally, I added more of these round tiles, and the cave was done. The hammer of teleportation I build by using this cool piece that I got from a dream set and this big crystal. Then I build the handle with gold pieces and added 2 more transparent red pieces. Now you can attach the hammer of teleportation on this clip and you are done. This is the whole set. It includes Kai, Nia, the Redhead Oni, a Skullblade Soldier, and the cave guards. And with that, we have built 8 really cool sets, made 20 insane minifigures, and told an amazing story. Let me know what you all think down in the comments, and should I make more custom sets? And if you want to support me, you can become a monthly member for just $1 or $2. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.